How's it going, guys? So, the latest episode of Yugioh VRAINS, we had a lot of things revealed in this episode. Now, let's start with the question that everybody had in their minds. Is Aoi okay? And the answer is yes and no. She wasn't crippled like I thought she'd be. I thought she was going to have some serious, physical trauma from this. But in the grand scheme of things, no, she's not okay. She's got sucked into Data. Worst of all as well, Spectre says that he completely held back against her, to some degree at least. It's a shame, really, because Aoi didn't really get an opportunity to sort of progress with this. She didn't have a big realization or anything, and now she's lost the chance because she's been turned to Data and sent to the Tower of Hanoi. Because of this as well, Zyzen has gotten involved, so he's come to link VRAINS. But of course, Dr. Kogami has trapped him inside of those vines, and he says if he touches them, there'll be a virus uploaded to him. So he's got to figure out a way to get out of that. Maybe Go may come and help him. Dr. Kogami says a lot of stuff. I died, but I didn't actually die. The people at Soul Technologies put me in a coma. They thought I was dead, so they let me get released. Luckily, my son brought me home because he's a clever hacker, Mr. Revolver. Managed to upload my consciousness into the VRAINS. Oh, look how that works. But yeah, that is how he's able to keep on existing. And it's kind of the reason why he doesn't mind the fact that once the EMP blast goes off, wipes out all technology and data from the world, everybody in the VRAINS world at the moment that is currently Data will also be eliminated. So I think he doesn't want to exist really anymore as just Data, so he's absolutely fine with succeeding in his goal and creating a better world for his son. Why is it a better world? Because according to Dr. Kogami, the AIs were meant to be created. I think he specifically states Ignis. I don't know if any of the other AIs are referred to as Ignises, or if they're just fragments of Ignis. Regardless, he says that they were created for good. However, they are truly destructive, and if people knew what they were really capable of, then you wouldn't feel the same about them. So this to me is, I'm not going to touch on it again because we've already said it a few times, just confirmation that the bad guys, the Knights of Hanoi, are actually kind of having this noble goal. They see the problem, the future apocalypse coming if the AIs were to rise and become truly free, which is what they're seeking. So Dr. Kogami is trying to prevent this. So I'm just still really curious to see how much that Ignis is not revealing to Yusaku and how nefarious he actually is. Is he just sort of helping Yusaku else just so that he can defeat the Knights of Hanoi? So, because the best way to describe this now is the fact that when we see more of Spectre's past, we learn that he had the complete opposite experience compared to Yusaku. Spectre 2 was taken, one of the 6 children taken to the event that happened 10 years ago. However, the difference was, he puts it really perfectly. He says to Yusaku, now Yusaku, the fact that you hated your time in that facility shows me that you had a happy life before, and that was just one of the worst experiences you've had in your life. However, for me, as in Spectre, I was absolutely miserable in my normal days. I was really an introvert, didn't know how to talk to people, nobody wanted to talk to me. Then I got kidnapped and put in this facility, and it just gave me something to do, it gave me purpose. I felt like I was working towards a greater goal, that someone had chosen me, and I felt special. So obviously when he was freed from this, he was ripped away from his specialness, and when he tried to integrate back into society, people was like, don't talk to him about that, it's too traumatic. So he had even less things to talk about them with. So yeah, you can kind of see how Yusaku and Spectre are complete opposites. The best phrase that Spectre and Yusaku say is that Yusaku says, time stopped for me once I was kidnapped. I've never been the same. I can't move on in my life until I've dealt with these things that happened to me. Whereas Spectre says, well, my life was, time had stopped for me until I was kidnapped. So yeah, it's a really strange sort of parallel between these two characters. I wish Spectre had been introduced a little bit earlier, because I like all the background stuff that we've had on him. He's got a really dense background the more you look at it, because now we see, I kind of expected this to happen with that tree card, what the tree represented. The tree represents his protection, which we kind of knew, but specifically in his real life, when he was abandoned as a child, he was put inside of that tree, and in his mind, the tree was protecting him from all this harsh stuff, which, when you really think about it, it is a little bit silly. I'm pretty sure a baby would not last. He says days, so I assume 3 days in there. So I'm like, would he survive? I'm pretty sure he'd be dead in 2 minutes. Why wouldn't he crawl off? But, alright, we'll see. And I thought it was a bit silly when the tree branches were kind of protecting him from the wolves and stuff and the weather. I was like, okay, maybe this is just sort of how he perceived things back in the days. It's not meant to be taken too literal, but just once the branches came in front of him like that, I was like, Okay, sure, whatever. So the point I'm trying to make with this is the fact that Spectre is alloyed with the Knights of Hanoi. As long as Ignis is with Yusaku, he's going to keep aiding him in order to get over all the Knights of Hanoi so he can achieve his secret goal of becoming free, I imagine. Now, Ignis does do something quite interesting in this episode. The fact that when Yusaku starts hearing this other side to someone's experience of this, Yusaku's determination begins to waver, and Ignis picks up on this and sort of tries to coax him out of it, sort of meaning to move forward. But I thought it was quite clever, the fact that you could pick up on some of his emotions like that. The duel so far has been okay, nothing too special just yet. I think we're going to get some really good things coming later in however long this duel is going to last for. I'd say probably like another 2 episodes of this duel, maybe. The big things we get to look forward to is the fact that Yusaku is going to destroy that tree at some point, and it's going to sort of parallel the fact that that tree got cut down in the same way that it did in his flashback, which I thought was a little bit silly. He was like, oh, they cut down the tree and that's when I lost all hope in humanity. But it was just like, it was like in the middle of a forest and there was just all these trees around it and they just cut that one down. Maybe it was too big, maybe it was a problem. It was just like, they cut down the one tree that was special to Spectre. Here's a twist, maybe one of the Knights of Hanoi did it to coax him into becoming evil. We'll see anyway. I'm curious to see where it's going to go, and I really want to see more of the white-haired Revolver. If it has to be Revolver, but I just want to see more of him. Why is his hair white and stuff? Was he one of the lost children? We have had now confirmation of 3 of the lost children, which were Yusaku, Spectre, and Kusanagi's brother, I think, which we still haven't seen on screen. No, we have seen him on screen once, I think. I'm a little bit fuzzy on that. So we have 3 more lost children left, and I'm just going to assume 1 might be Revolver, and the other 2 I have no idea of, because it's not going to be Aoi, it's not going to be Zaizen, I don't think, and it's not going to be Go, because they've had all this time, they've never really talked about it, but yeah, curious to see. Who do you guys think? Have we had all of the 6 children revealed so far in the story, do you reckon, or not? Let me know in the comment section below. But overall, I enjoyed the episode. I am still a little bit worried about where Aoi's character is going to go into the future. I feel like this might make a big hit. Hopefully she has a big redemption arc in later seasons, or just later episodes, hopefully. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Yusaku's confidence waver for a bit, and maybe have a little speech about how his way is right. I mean, when you really think about it, though, Yusaku is just based entirely on vengeance, which is bad. So the fact that someone took a good thing away from a bad experience, I don't know. Some interesting things. This is why I like VRAINS. It's very thought-provoking. It's definitely turning into one of my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh series so far. Someone actually asked me on stream the other day what I would give this series out of 10 so far. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, with the potential of becoming a 9 out of 10, with a very slim potential of being a 10 out of 10. It's very rare I would give a Yu-Gi-Oh series a 10 out of 10, but maybe this one can do it. We'll have to see. But guys, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Don't forget to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Catch you later.